Hi, and welcome to Danny After Dark. If you're new here, make sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss a notification or a new episode. Tonight is the weekly True Crime and Chill, and I'm doing this one solo. It is Thanksgiving weekend here in the States, so most people are busy, but I was able to clear a little bit of time and figured I would do a show for tonight because true crime news does not stop for holidays, apparently. So there's a lot to catch you guys up on. So, however long we just are here hanging out and talking about what's going on this week in the world of true crime, we will do. And for those of you that are just here for the cats, we got them. Who do we have? Luke and Cosmo. So, and who else is in here? Leia's in here. Selena's right here. We got 4 of them in the room tonight, so you will see them at various points. But anyway, before we jump into what's going on this week in true crime news, let's see who's here. Kane, first one in, coming in strong. How you doing? Hope you're doing good. Fiddle, long time no see, my friend. I hope you're doing well. Todd, hello. James Watson. I know. I try. Renee, hello. K-Dog. I like that. I'm giving that a star. I like that. I really do. Yep. Got Selena, like I said. Let's see. Tony L. Hello. Welcome. Tony, you're in for it. The cats are running around. It's all good. Ollie Perry. Hello. Welcome. Frank Vargo. I'm pumping iron, watching wrestling, looking forward to listening to your wrestling. Oh my God, I have not watched wrestling in forever, but have fun. That's awesome. You know what I was going for? So if you're in the US, today is known as Black Friday. Again, the day after Thanksgiving, people going crazy at the mall at like 12:01 a.m. And when I'm like, you know what? I'll just feel the vibes. And that's what we're going with. Sam Smith. Hello. Sam, hi. How you doing? My last episode, Sam, was the case that you recommended. So I hope you check it out and leave a comment because that was a case that I didn't know. Chinese food. Oh, James, I'm so jealous. Although to be fair, I don't know if it's like this in every big city, but here in the Boston area, like the night before Thanksgiving is a huge party night and a huge drinking night. It just always has been. So I did meet up and it was very last minute on Wednesday night with some friends and we did go out for Chinese food and drinks. And that was last minute because y'all know I do my volunteering at the cat shelter. So I was like, oh, okay, I'll go. And I'm glad I did, even though I was exhausted because kittens are hard work, man. Chasing after and cleaning up after kittens is a lot of work, but it is what it is. Hey, Anastasia, who are you discussing tonight? I'm an early bird. No, I'm super jealous. If you do get to fall asleep early, I am super jealous. So next case, the OG. I'm going to Anastasia. I'm going to take a note of that right now because I will not remember it at the end of the show. So Let's do that. Paul from the Paulcast. Wow, he must not be doing anything tonight. Hi, Paul. Finn will beat you here. He's a better friend. So just saying. Anastasia, to answer your question, I only have 4 cases tonight. So I have an update on Puff Daddy because Beckham is not here to do that. Update on Karen Reed, Jamie Komorowski, who we have not talked about, and I'm so excited to talk about with you guys. And then lastly, Lyle Menendez. And there's a bit of a conversation I want to have with you guys on that. Something that's just been sitting with me. And I was like, all right, I just want to get it out, talk about it with you guys, and see where you guys all stand. So that's the agenda for tonight. Let's see. Sam said, thank you, Sam. Praise from you doesn't come easy. So I actually very much take that as a big compliment. So thank you. And thank you again for the recommendation. I didn't know that case. So that was, whew. And if you guys are wondering what I'm talking about, earlier this week, I did a case review of Tyler Peterson, and that was a case that Sam Smith recommended. And I did not know that case. So doing the research on that was kind of very interesting as I was reading and seeing it unfold as I researched. It was, that was quite a case, but check it out if you missed it. You're welcome. Let's see, K-Dog. I'm starting a new business, K-Dog's Alibis. You know what, K-Dog, I have a feeling that Mr. Beckham or Paul, probably Mr. Beckham, will be using your services quite a bit. I don't know. He just seems a little untrusting. So I'll be like, Beckham, why weren't you on the show? Boom, K-Dog's going to provide an alibi. I'm just saying. I think it's possible. I think you're going to do good. Paul is here. He can discuss Diddy for you. I'm like, Paul, do you want to come up? Like, okay, y'all in Canada, your Thanksgiving was last month. So I was like, Paul, it's a normal weekend for you. Come up and join me. And being the good friend that he is, what do you think he said? He actually laughed and said no. He laughed though. That's what good friends are for. So I'm kind of like, where do we begin today? Where do we begin? Okay, and my Cosmo is like totally living his best life right now. So I hope y'all are enjoying. Meanwhile, Selena's like taking a nap at the top. So you know what? We're just gonna start with Puff Daddy. We're just gonna get that out of the way. Hey, Data Ex Machina. Hello. Hope you're doing good. So what is new I love how Selena's like, no, I don't want to hear about Puff Daddy. We're not doing it. So the little bit that happened this week is that on Wednesday, a federal judge denied Sean Diddy Combs, also known as Puff Daddy, also known as P. Diddy. I think if I could blank out a half hour, I could probably get out all the rest of his nicknames, but we're just going to leave it with those. So again, a federal judge denied the request for release on bail as he awaits trial on charges of racketeering and sex trafficking. I'm probably going to mispronounce the judge's name. Federal Judge Arun Subramanian cited, quote, compelling evidence of Combs's propensity for violence, end quote. The ruling also stated that there was evidence supporting, quote, a serious risk of witness tampering, end quote, along with evidence that he, quote, violated Bureau of Prisons regulations during his pretrial detention to obscure his communications with third parties, end quote. The judge also wrote that the government prosecutors have shown, quote, by clear and convincing evidence that no condition or combination of conditions will reasonably assure the safety of the community, end quote. Wow. That little bit that I just read, you guys, packs a lot of punch. Pun not intended. So we are aware that early when everything first started to collapse for Sean, so for Puff Daddy, there was victims that were people were reaching out to them and harassing and threatening them, people from his party. And of course, he's denying that, but nonetheless, it happened. And it kind of goes to show, like, you can't follow the rules. Like, you think you're above the rules. And let's be honest, he has so much money. If he is released on bail, he's going to hop a flight and he's never going to come back to the States. He's going to pull a Roman Polanski. Totally. And there are many other countries, I'm sure, that would welcome Puff Daddy there. And we will never see him, and the victims will never get justice. And I know right now, again, everybody's innocent until proven guilty. There's a lot of evidence against Puff Daddy. And at the very least, he's came out with, I didn't do anything. These are all allegations. People, were lying for money and, whatever, all these things that celebrities claim. And then the Cassie Ventura tape came out where he is beating her in that hotel hall and dragging her by the hair. We've all seen the video. If you haven't seen it, it's like, I don't want to say watch it. Don't give him that, but it's bad. It is bad. And then it's oh, well, I did do that. I was in a low place. It's like, come on. First you said you never did it, and now there's just proof that you did. And then we find out that he paid the hotel off thousands and thousands of dollars to get rid of that tape when it happened. Clearly they didn't. So yeah, that's that. But I think no judge wants to be the one. I was talking about this with Beckham. No judge wants to be the one to release Puff Daddy on bond, because he'll flee and he'll never come back. They do not want to be the one to do that. And again, he has been violating the Bureau of Prisons regulations during his stay while he's there. He can't follow the rules. It's like, you are under surveillance right now, big time. As we know in prison, every call is monitored. Like, there's so much that you're under watchful eye for, and you still fuck up. He just can't help himself. What are you guys saying here? I know this is one of those conversations where there's a lot to say. Anastasia saying, watch the show A Crime to Remember for the Pied Piper. Oh, okay. Going back to your recommendation. Okay. That caused fiddle. Really? I just gave you a compliment, and you just got to go that way. Combs is a high-powered rich abuser. Absolutely. He had, it's, as we're learning, this was like not a secret in Hollywood, and people knew, and just, he had the money, the power to silence people for as long as he did, but not anymore. Anastasia, Menendez probably abused. So the father, also in the music industry. Yes, one of the, I'm totally blanking his name. One of the members of Menudo came forward and said that as a child, Jose Menendez had sexually abused him. But most don't kill their parents. They spend all the money and have a high-powered attorney. Anastasia, oh my God, who was I just talking to today about that? Or was it yesterday? Because everywhere I go, I talk about true crime. I mean, let's be honest. It was in the past few days. That's all I know. I can't remember who I was talking about it with, but it was one of those, should they be released? Should they not? And it was, could they have been, because right now it's just, there's no proof that they were, abused by their father and that their mother just went along with it. So it's kind of, what side do you believe? But also their actions after. That's what so many people go back to. That, honestly, Anastasia, what you just pointed out, that's what I go back to as well. Whether, two things can be true. They could have been abused by Jose Menendez, growing up their entire life, and still act the way they did. And does it make it okay? No, it's just one of those things. But I completely agree with what you're saying. And that's one of the things I defer back to, is what they did after. Danny, your cat looks all high on the catnip. Well, right now there are no cats in here, but they do like catnip. Some of them do. But also, you know what it is? So I think I told you guys last week. So they are obsessed with if you cat parents, if you are listening and you don't know what this is, you haven't given it to your cat, what are you waiting on? They're called churros. They're kind of like a liquid treat. They come in like a little squeeze pouch. Oh my God. It's like they know. And it's like you don't want to give them too many. It's like because you want it to be so like Friday night, that's what they get. And that's what they got earlier. So they are kind of writing that out right now. And it's like they know it's the end of the week. Where's my treat? So don't get me wrong, they get treats during the week, but like that's like the special treat that they get on Friday. So try it if you have a cat and you have not. K-Dog says, a model's bodyguard did an interview with Mike Francie. He was at 3 Diddy parties. Interesting stuff. Ooh, interesting. I would love to hear. K-Dog, can you put in the chat any like kind of key things that you took away from that? I would be curious to hear it. A P. Diddy video of him abusing. Oh my God, Anastasia. It's horrible. It is horrible. And like, I remember when it first came out, his attorneys trying to spin it like so that she was the bad one in the situation. It was like, how I get it. That's their job, is to protect their client, but it's one of those like, come on, just have your client take the hit on this one. There's video evidence of him like, oh God. It's horrible. It's absolutely horrible. And then his apology where he doesn't even reference her name once. And it's just this like, I'm sorry. No, you're sorry you got caught. That's what it is. You're not sorry. Money talks, and so do high-powered attorneys. Absolutely. Renee says he's a piece of shit. 100% agreed. Money laughs at me. Hey, Trekker. Good to see you, hon. Hope you had a good Thanksgiving. Hope you're doing well. I wouldn't want that money. I mean, the attorneys that he's hired, I mean, his money is going fast. I know he's worth a lot, but when all said and done, he's going to be like the lawsuits that are going to come from that are being filed. I mean, and then a part of me wonders, so when I covered OJ Simpson in regards to his book, If I Did It, the book talks about how OJ, he didn't want to pay out the Goldmans and Nicole Brown's family. So he moved to Florida where they couldn't go after, his money in regards to his properties. And then any like businesses he had, from what I recall, he put it in his kids' names so that it couldn't be touched. So a part of me wonders if he when everything hit, it hit kind of fast, but I wonder if even since while he's been in jail, he's transferred anything over out of his name to his kids so that even if there are lawsuits against him and they're deemed, they're given against him, that now the victims can't go after that money because now the businesses are no longer in his name. I don't know. I don't know how that works, but it wouldn't shock me if we found out that they were in his kids' names so that, they can't be touched. Wouldn't surprise me. Data Ex Machina. I remember Rich Cronin of the boy band LFO saying in radio interviews in 2006 that he had to take one for the team of the producers to be on the band. Open secret. I used to listen to LFO. He died, right? Rich did. He died from cancer, I believe. 2 of them are dead. 2 of them have passed away. Oh God, what's the other one's name? Brad, was it Brad? I think. Yeah, I was into that back in the day. But yeah, it's a contact buzz. Oh my God, Star Trekker. Don't lie. I guarantee you still listen to that song. I bet it's your ringtone. Don't lie. Trekker, don't lie. P. Diddy is a perfect example of absolute power corrupting absolutely. I'm giving you a star. That is so exact. You are so on point. Data Ex Machina, you do not have a wrench, and that's not okay. So let's quickly give you one now. So with the wrench, if you don't know what it is, you can post any links that you want, any relevant conversation that we're having. You can feel free to post links. Sometimes y'all in the chat just kind of go off on your own tangents and talk about whatever else on the side and post links relevant to that. Feel free. Trucker says, did he acted better in that apology video that he did to get him to the grave? OJ convinced himself he was innocent. Most cannot even talk about or see the victims, hence covering the faces. See, I wouldn't be surprised if Puff Daddy believes he's innocent, because some of it is where, yes, the victims were allegedly drugged, and some of the sexual assaults he partook in. Some, is that a word? I don't know. But y'all know what I mean. Some of them he just watched. Again, set up the whole thing. So yes, there was an assault committed, but I can totally he's such a narcissist. I can see him thinking, I didn't do anything wrong. I don't know. I really, yeah, I think he would be the same way, Anastasia, to be honest. Okay. All right. Yeah. I thought so. Light funky buns. Hi, little Milky. Welcome. Hey, Nuffles. Good to see you. I just watched that Jean Benet doc. The police botched that big time. You think? Did you not know that till now, Trucker? Oh, God, that's one of those cases we're never going to know. We're never going to know. When I was at CrimeCon this year, Trucker, if you missed my coverage on that, when I did the recap when I came back, John Benet's father was there and did a presentation. He did one of the panels, and I did go to that and listen to him speak, along with a woman who'd been researching the case, a reporter who kind of really deep dived into that with him. And it was a really good panel. Yeah. So I have my own theories on that, which I've talked about in other true crime shows we've done, but I've not seen the documentary. Y'all know how I feel about Netflix. So it's funny. Yesterday at Thanksgiving, a family member had said something about them seeing something on Netflix. And like before they could even finish the sentence, I just like cringed. And I'm just like, Danielle, stop. Like, Netflix is entertaining. I give them that. I don't want to get sued. I'll leave it at that. They're entertaining. Factual. I hurried like crazy. I had to get some things from Tony Stewart. You went to Walmart on Black Friday? Are you crazy? I'm shocked you survived. I'm shocked you survived to come into the chat tonight, Tony. Was it worth it? Although it's, I don't know, Tony, what time is it where you are? I don't know. Where I am, it's just about 9:30. So I'd like to think, like, if I was to run out to my local one, which I think is open till like 11 or something, I'd like to think it wouldn't be crazy at this hour. But earlier in the day, God. Okay, yeah. So you're on the same time zone as me. Okay, then that makes sense that it wasn't that bad. Okay. I still think that's very daring. I think that's very daring. I am very impressed that you went out and did that. There are lies, damn lies, in Netflix documentaries. I'm giving that a star. Let's see. Okay, I missed a few comments. Let me go back to just make sure. Yes, NPD, narcissistic person. Yes, Anastasia. Yes. He said people were drugged. He believes he poisoned his wife. He said Diddy is a furry. Well, oh God, what's her name? Puff Daddy's, she passed away recently, mother of his kids. I don't know if they were legally husband and wife. I'm going to look it up. It's going to bother me. I can literally picture her right now. She wrote a book, like a tell-all. And of course, like, Puff Daddy and his camp and his kids, the Kim Porter, thank you, Anastasia, thank you. Yeah, are kind of like, oh, well, that's not true. But there are friends of hers that are saying it. It is true. It is true. I believe they took it from like her, like it was like a diary style writing from what I heard. I have not read it myself. I probably will get it and read it. Not going to lie. Not going to lie. I'm kind of very intrigued. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Don't. Tony, if you get pulled over by the cops and they're like, sir, why are you speeding? And you're like, I need to get home because Danny After Dark is on. Maybe it'll get you out of a ticket. You can ask the officer to subscribe. You could bring it up on your phone and see, this is where I had to get home. We're talking about true crime news here, officer. I need to be updated. But don't do it. Don't do it, because if that doesn't work, I don't want to be held responsible. Oh my God, Nuffles. That's right. You're in Australia. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You're like 5 days ahead. Walmart counts 1 dead per store on Black Friday. Oh God. With Amazon now, there's no excuse for like the stampedes. There is no excuse. But again, Tony went and survived. So that's all that matters, is that Tony survived. Renee says, no way I would go out today. I spent time putting up lights all day. My neighborhood is way into decorating. That's cool. Renee, I want to see a picture. Yeah, I put up a few things around. I am really into bottle brush trees. I'm not going to lie. I have a bunch in different colors, and I like to put them all around. With 6 cats, haven't had a Christmas tree in years, and that's for the best. Because fun fact, last time there was a Christmas tree, Loki lives up to his name. I forget how he did it, but he ended up, diving into the tree, if I recall. But all I know is he had like some sap in his fur, and it was like, oh, no. And then also, if you have cats, you have to keep moving the ornaments up, and then they get, I was like, no, I'm happy with my bottle brush trees. I'm not going to lie, I want to go and get more from Home Goods, but yeah, that's my thing. Let's see. But get her death certificate, pneumonia. Are you talking about Kim Porter? I can't remember her cause of death, if that's who you're referring to. I'm not a doctor. Thank you for, yeah, that's fine. I know we can all speculate though. Didn't what's her name die from pneumonia? Brittany Murphy and her husband, and it was like months apart or something like that. It was really weird. Has Beckham subscribed to this channel yet, Trekker? I don't think so. I don't think he has. Every once in a while, he'll pop into a show in the chat and like say something snarky about me and then like bounce. So he at least knows where to find it. I give him credit for that. I have 3 lighted pumpkins still. Good for you. Keep it going. Autopsy, cyanide would show in other places. Oh, we're such armed entertainment. It's all good though. That is out of, you know what? I just did a book review, Anastasia, on the Poisoner's Handbook. So already that information has been in my brain and out my brain, but we did talk about that. My girlfriend and I put lights in the garden last night. Nice. That's awesome. I'm not a doctor. I just play one on Danny After Dark. And we love you for it, K-Dog. I got to fluff out the tree this weekend. Already put up the outside lights. Tony Stewart's a bah humbug. No Christmas decorations for me. Yeah, Brittany and her husband supposedly moldy. Yeah, it was something like that. It was just weird. It was weird when that happened. I liked her. And yeah. So yeah, in regards to Puff Daddy, that's kind of all of the update that we have for that this week. I'm sure there'll be more next week, and we can go from there. So up next, let's get into one that we have not talked about this case yet. Some of you may have heard of it, and if so, please let's talk about it in the chat. And for those of you that don't know it, go down this rabbit hole. I'm assuring you there's so much to it. Go down this rabbit hole. So, Jamie Komorowski. So, if you do not know who she is, so her trial is set to begin December 2nd. I have been following this since the beginning when this whole thing first happened. This girl is a piece of work. She is a piece of work, and we're going to get into why. So, in a nutshell, take a shot. She is the woman accused of drunk driving and slamming into a golf cart that killed a bride on her wedding night and seriously injured the groom. Jamie is 27 years old. She is charged with reckless vehicular homicide and 3 counts of felony DUI for the April 22nd, 2023 tragedy in Folly Beach, South Carolina. Investigators said that Jamie was driving 65 in a 25-mile-per-hour zone with a blood alcohol level more than 3 times the legal limit when she plowed into the newlyweds who were on a golf cart along with 2 other family members. And they were on that golf cart only moments after their wedding reception, like moments. So the bride, Samantha Miller, 34 years old, was killed in the crash. 3 others who were in the golf cart, including the groom, Eric Hutchinson, were injured. He is seriously injured for the rest of his life, disabled. Further investigation found that Jamie had been drinking all day at several bars. At first, Jamie was denied bond. Then in March, so 7 months later, Jamie was released on bond. According to jail records, Jamie was released on a $150,000 bond, along with orders for a GPS and secure continuous remote alcohol monitor device, also known as SCRAM. So this is this case, very condensed. The thing with Jamie is, go back, if this is a case you guys want to deep dive into, the thing for me that's really frustrating with her is her jailhouse calls with her parents. She is so acts and makes statements like she's the one that's inconvenienced, so entitled. When am I getting out of here? This is inconveniencing to me. Like those types of statements. I thought of, and I should have for you guys, I'm not going to lie, like did a little bit more research and get those exact quotes for you. But I remember when those quotes like was coming out and how infuriating it was. And I was like, I just can't. I just can't. I'm in a good mood. It's the holiday weekend, but it's infuriating. Look it up for yourself. It's all going to come out at trial. It's all going to come out at trial. But again, you just killed a newlywed bride. The husband's not going to be disabled the rest of his life. 2 other family members, everybody was thrown from the cart. And you're inconvenienced how? Clearly not sorry. Clearly no remorse. So yeah, and it's very clear from those phone calls that we did get to hear snippets of or get to hear text transcripts from, that her parents just tend to bail her out on a lot of things. And it's just unfortunate. There have been interviews with the family members who were there. They were all there for the wedding. And it's heartbreaking to hear because they hear the sirens. They know the bride and groom just took off, and it's a nightmare. It's an absolute nightmare because like literally 1 minute you're right there hugging your daughter, the bride and groom, whatever relation you are to them. And minutes later, like you hear a crash and then it's heartbreaking. But that trial is going to start on Monday. And yeah, it's going to be interesting. I'm curious if she's had this time, Jamie, or if her attorney's good, will kind of be like, these phone calls are going to come out and they're going to be damning. What you did, like, act a certain way, like act remorseful in court. Because as we've seen, some people don't do that. Let's take Sarah Boone, for example. Did not like how you project yourself in court does matter. So I'm wondering if Jamie's still going to be that defiant, like, I'm here, I'm inconvenienced type of attitude, or if she'll, I hate to say pretend to be remorseful. If you were going to be remorseful, you should have been remorseful right then and there, but who knows? We'll see. Let's see. Okay, yeah, you guys are talking about like Brittany Murphy and stuff. Hey, Bert, good to see you. Hope you're doing well. The black cat leaning over. Gray cat, Selena. But dark gray, so. Oh, Renee knows. I knew you would know this case, Renee. It's, yeah, absolutely. She's like Kate. Renee, that is a very accurate comparison. It's just like do people, okay. How many times do I have to say this? Your prison phone calls are recorded. Do you not think it's going to come out at trial? Do you not think it's going to come out to the media? Like, I hate to say, like, if you're going to fake it or if you're going to lie, just be better at it. I don't get it. I don't get it. Her having like this attitude on the, like, oh, I'm inconvenienced. Like, oh yeah, I just killed someone, but I'm inconvenienced. Did you not take a second to think, this is going to get played at my trial and it's going to be used against me and it's not going to look good? No, didn't cross her mind at all. Just like it didn't cross Casey Anthony's, but we saw how that went. So, Thank you, Tony Stewart. Yes, I had a great one. I hope everybody else in here did too. Yeah, golf cart. Well, yeah, because does it have the name of the Folly Beach, South Carolina? I don't know if they were on like a golf course or something like that, but they were in an area where they were using the golf cart to go back from where the reception was being held to the hotel because it was a short distance. So that's why they used a golf cart. Oh my God. Anastasia, that's horrible. Yeah, yeah. Let's see. You are saying cases like Jamie make me terrified to be on the. Exactly. It's one of those, like, even here, I always say to like my coworkers when, because I'm in Massachusetts, New England, and although last year was a pretty tame winter, if you're from here, I mean, it gets bad. Like the snow gets bad and driving in it. I mean, we're used to it here in New England, but still accidents happen all the time. And I always joke, like, I know I will I will drive slow. I will get myself home as safe as I can be. I have no control over everybody else around me. All it takes is one, and you see them every snowstorm on the highway, just bombing down the highway, doing like 70, 75 when there's black ice on the road. And it's like, what are you doing? Again, I can only do my part, but yeah, yeah, you're absolutely right. I know. She's not. Our private cell phone conversations are recorded too, but that's for another episode. Yes. We had signs in front of the telephone room, phone calls, can and will be recorded. Yeah. Everything, everywhere is on camera and recorded these days. Absolutely. Ugh. That's horrible. I got married on a golf carts. Carts everywhere. I didn't know that detail. Renee, every time I think, I'm like, okay, I think I have the final piece of the puzzle. There's always new information that I'm like, well, what about this? Like, I don't know. Your life is just absolutely fascinating. Lots of great white sharks in Folly Beach, South Carolina. Once Halloween is over, leave Massachusetts quickly. Oh my, Tony Stewart. Yeah. Like Salem, it's one of those, like, They're tourists all year round, but like after Halloween weekend, it's like, whoo, yeah, much easier to drive. No one can drive on ice. Yeah, well, tell that to the people that are still bombing down the highway doing like 75, thinking like, oh, it's all right. I have snow tires, and it's like, you know. I have 4-wheel drive and still hate driving in the snow. So if you can hear that, that's Leia. That's, yeah. I went to Salem when I was 10. Oh, I hope you liked it. Salem's awesome. It's awesome. 12,000 words and counting. Awesome, Renee. I'm excited. I am so excited. I actually, since Paul from Paulcast he popped in earlier. I'll give him that. But since you put it in the chat, so like, I mentioned to him, I was like, did you see Renee's comment? She's writing a book. Like, oh, we're like in awe of you. Like meeting you at Spawn Ranch. Like, oh my God, we are fascinated by your life. Why you're so... Okay, Doc, if you would like to clear your schedule for the next 12 straight hours, we can deep dive into that if you would like. But right. Yeah, it's like Massachusetts is known for being like Boston has a long history of corrupt cops. And like here we have the Karen Reed, that just put it on display that it's still happening and it's so blatant. And again, if you can hear Leia crying in the back, my apologies. She's fine. I assure you she's fine. I can hear it. We're trying. Yeah. See, I knew my mic would pick that up. Yeah. Cape Cod's nice. I've only been there a few times in my life. It's just, I think it's one of those things where you're from here. So like you go and then, okay, you've been, but I can see why I take it for granted, and people who haven't been, like Nantasket, Martha's Vineyard, like why it's such a cool place for people who aren't from here. So like, I totally take this area for granted. No, you are, no. You are awesome, Renee. You are awesome. Yeah, no kidding. I'm not corrupt, Tony. Everybody in Massachusetts might be, but I'm not. A life of chaos. I know, Renee, when you said that to us at the ranch, it was like, oh my God, like what? My God, I can't wait for your book. I was saying to Paul, I was like, Renee, please give me first interview, or like at least one of your like first few. Please, pretty please. Once you get that book ready to go, I want you on here. They think they may be associated. Oh, okay. All right. You guys are still talking pneumonia, which is still valid. It's still valid. I don't. It's out of my expertise. I don't have much to add from a medical perspective. Oh my gosh, Renee's book's going to be like amazing. I'm already putting my Danny After Dark stamp of approval on it. I'm telling you right now, whenever it comes out, it's going to be in my book recommendations. I'm telling you right now. Done. Book of the year. I am that confident in it. And I mean that. I truly mean that. I saw some really ugly parts of Massachusetts. You're from Hamilton? Oh. You're from Hamilton. Okay. So every other city looks probably ugly compared to Hamilton is like, yeah, you're living the good life if you're living in Hamilton. Little Milky. How did I not know that? So, okay, the real ugly parts. I already know the cities. And I know you know what I'm talking about. Like what cities are not good. Or, okay, let me rephrase that. Not the prettiest. But I must say, even with the real estate market the way it is, some of the cities where it's like, you want to avoid driving through it or going there, even to get a house there. And like I don't want to like name the cities, and like, because of like some of my viewers are there, I don't want to like bash, because it is, but yeah, it's like crazy expensive now to even get a house in like one of those cities. And it's like, what the hell? You're from Hamilton. That's funny. That's funny. Hello, Troy. Welcome. Happy Friday. I do like science and statistics. Anastasia, oh my, okay. If Liz was here, if the Liz, that is like her thing too. Like you guys would be, if she was in the chat right now, the two of you would be having like your own private, like conversation where like only the two of you would understand what you're talking about. And I would just be looking at it like, I don't understand this at all. Yeah, that's her. That's her. Your accent really shows up on Hamilton. Did I say it like Boston-y? I don't know. I don't know. All right. All right. So let's stay tuned for this trial of Jamie Komorowski. Just bring it back full circle. Starts on Monday. Starts on Monday. This is, I don't want to say she's going to be like Sarah Boone level, but I'm curious how her attitude is going to be in court. I'm very curious to see. If her attorneys are good, they're going to tell her, like, just sit there and look remorseful. Like, at the very least. I don't know. Getting a flat tire in Detroit is the scariest place I've ever been. I've never been to Detroit. So I've never been. So I can't speak on that. But from what I've heard I'm sure that's a very accurate statement. That's probably just as scary as Tony Stewart going to Walmart on Black Friday and living to tell the tale. I think that's a pretty equal comparison. Not going to lie. Oh, man. So, all right. Sarah Boone level. I mean, okay, Troy, am I wrong for that I don't think I'm wrong for that comparison. I mean, because we heard Sarah Boone like on the tapes with when she was being interviewed by police. We've heard, for those of you who have been following this case, we've heard Jamie on the phone with her parents, like how it's like the same type of like, I'm over this is an inconvenience to me, this is a waste of my time. Same vibes. I'm not wrong, Troy. I'm not wrong. If I was a cop in Mass, I would probably be very corrupt and end up doing hard time. You know what, Tony Stewart, you would not be alone in that. You really would not be alone in that. And that's like so bad. It's so bad. Oh, man. It's just like, especially like, again, because I feel like the Karen Reed case, no matter what reason people were gravitated towards it, like, especially if you weren't from here, like it really showed the level of like corruption and incompetence. And it put it on a national and a worldwide platform. So, and it's still like week after week, it comes out when it's like, oh, this investigator is now let go. Oh, this investigator is now in trouble because they didn't do. My God. It's like, I'll send it to like Liz, Paul, and Beckham. Because, we chat about this case outside of here. I finally got Paul into the Karen Reed case. It only took till like the last week of the trial before him to show an interest, and they're just like, especially Beckham's like, it doesn't stop. Like another one again. Yeah. I just saw a story about Dr. Marsh studying the amygdala's role in fear and thought processing. Has been a focus of many studies on psychopathy. Nice. That actually sounds extremely fascinating. Flats always happen in terrible weather. Someone's always watching. Sam Smith, you're the one that's always watching. Like, I feel like, yeah, you are the one that's always watching. Or at the time we got detained at the border on the Buffalo side, they were going to. Well, Milky, that's like horrific. That's horrifying. At least I would have a lot of friends doing time with me. Sure would. I wouldn't be one of them, but you sure would. I want Sarah Boone to put case in the mic drop. I think I have 2 more cases I was going to cover for you guys, but I think we just need to end the show now because I'm going to give you a star for that. I might get some shit for that. By who, I don't know. But I'm going to give you a star for that. Yeah, mic drop moment. Sorry, K-Dog was the one belief I was about to read. Mic drop moment, Troy. Oh, see, yeah, I have no interest in that. Sarah Boone would do it for a box. Oh my God. I swear to God. That list. I literally messaged Beckham as soon as that came out, and I was like, oh my God. Like, typically when I'm like, oh, hey, here's what we're going to do for this week's, True Crime and Chill. Like, I'll just be like, hey, there's an update in the Karen retrial. Hey, there's an update in this. And I just kind of leave it at that. I was just like, Beckham, you need to read this right now. Like, right now. Can't believe we all had to watch that in court. She would like Pop-Tarts, 5 mints, specifically 5 mints. Cookies, candy. That it was just like to keep her energy up. You know what else keeps your energy up? Fucking fruit, like good food. God, that was horrific. I can't believe we, as the public, had to watch that. Some theories suggest that psychopathy is rooted in a diminished capacity for experiencing fear and associating actions with consequences. It would be interesting to study versus kidney donors. Very interesting. I love that type of stuff. Like, do you want to see D&E After Dark really nerd out? Yes, I have like tons of books that I like enjoy reading. That type of stuff. That's my jam. Yeah, I mean, might as well. You'd be so close. Might as well. As I would walk into the court, not the court, the jail to visit you, I would just at least tell the prison guards as I'm walking by, yeah, like and subscribe, D&E After Dark, like and subscribe. Might as well. God. There's a comment I want to say, but I want to. Yeah, it's so funny because that was biopsych was the one psychology aspect that I struggled with in college. Any other aspect, aced it, not a problem. Biopsych, which is funny because now it's I'll read it and it's I don't know, maybe it's because I knew back then it was oh shit, I got to study for the test, and now it's just okay, I don't have to worry about that stuff anymore. Now it's just reading it because I want to, so I'm actually interested in it. I don't know, but back then in college, that was one I definitely struggled with. That's for dang sure. I did not know that. That's interesting. Oh, there we go. All right. I didn't find out till I was interesting. How the hell did you find out then? How did you what happened at 60 that you found out? K-Dog, I'm very curious. Because to go that long and not know that's wild. I actually do. You don't have to post the answer. That's a personal question. But I'm nosy and I want to know. So, All right. Let's move on to the next case. Because I kind of have an opinion on it, and I'm going to tell you guys what happened this week with Menendez brothers, Lyle Menendez specifically. And I've just been thinking about it. And I kind of have a theory on it, and I just want to chat about it with you guys. And by all means, if I kind of say my theory and you're like, you know what, Danny, you're wrong. I think you're wrong on this one. All good. I had a hernia and they discovered it. Oh, gotcha. Interesting. Well, better late than never to find out, I suppose. My goodness, K-Dog. So the Menendez brothers, right? Lyle specifically, what happened is that Rebecca Sneed, Lyle Menendez's wife, has announced their separation after 21 years of marriage. So a few weeks ago, Lyle made a personal statement. So again, this was just before everything came out. He said, quote, "This coming November will be my 20th wedding anniversary." Lyle also said, "Learning to be a husband and a partner from inside a prison has been challenging and has also changed my life in so many positive ways," end quote. He went on to say, quote, "Her unwavering support and belief in me is something I am most grateful for and has played no small part in my journey to be a better person," end quote. So Rebecca, again, this week made the statement, quote, "Lyle and I have been separated for a while now, but remain best friends and family. I continue to run his Facebook pages with input from him, and I am forever committed to the enduring fight for Lyle and Eric's freedom, as has been so evident over the years," end quote. Rebecca continued to say, quote, "I'll continue to update you on all the progress of the case because I believe we all have the common goal of seeing the guys walk free. I will never stop fighting for them," end quote. Her post also confirmed, quote, "This is not a cheating scandal," end quote. And "not" was in all caps. So they're splitting up after, again, he says 20 years, but they've been together like almost 21. So whatever, 20, 21 years. His statement just a few weeks ago, everything was very positive. And then hers is, "Lyle and I have been separated for a while now." Like, I'm just like, okay, there's a disconnect somewhere between the two of them, because you can't have it both ways unless I don't know. For her to say this is not a cheating scandal makes me kind of think it's a cheating scandal, but I've been sitting on this, right? And hear me out. I have nothing but my own thoughts here. So I have no proof of this. This is just my thoughts. I wonder, because when Rebecca and Lyle got together, we go back to both Lyle and Eric Menendez's sentences. They were going to be in prison their whole life with no parole. So they were never getting out. Now, as we've covered in weeks past, the documentaries come out. There's, new evidence that wasn't really kind of gone through in court as it should have been in regards to any allegations of sexual abuse, so on and so forth, whether you agree with it or not, whatnot. But now they're automatically eligible for parole. I still feel like the prosecution, like the DA is passing the buck, Gavin Newsom's passing the buck to the next, I don't know if they'll get out. I don't know. Again, it's just very weird to me that you get with somebody who is never going to get out. And now they have a chance to get out. And now is the time to break up with them? I don't know. It just is a little too... I kind of would have... Again, this is their personal life. Has nothing to do with me. I have no stake in the game. But it's one of those, had it been a cheating thing, it would have made sense. I would have been like, yeah, girl, like, dump his ass. But I don't know. So, oh God, maybe over a year ago, I can't even remember, but I did an episode strictly on hybristophilia, which is, in a nutshell, about falling in love with an inmate, someone who's in jail for whatever violent offense, from both a female and male perspective, because it goes both ways. We see, on the flip side with like Jodi Arias in prison, all these men writing to her and being in love with her and so on and so forth. But so kind of like going off of the research of that, and, it just, I don't know. It just seems too coincidental that like isn't this what you wanted? Or was it that you really wanted someone who was not going to get out and now they're getting out? I don't know. I don't know. What do you guys think? What do you guys think? I have no proof of my thoughts. It's kind of weird. Weird timing. Tony Stewart. See, I expect that type of comment from James Watson, not you. Love you, James Watson. Let's see. Anastasia says, it seems like he used and manipulated her. Okay. Kane agrees. Yeah, it's, I don't know. And I know I'm kind of at a loss for words on it, but I don't know. So of course, in my mind, as this has been playing out, there's not a lot of studies on hybristophilia. The ones that there are, I have read through them page by page of the research studies because they're out there. They're published online. You can read through them. They're long, they're lengthy. They go over all the different trial groups that they did. It's fascinating. If that's what you're into, for example, Anastasia, I think you would find it fascinating to kind of read through that. But times have changed. Technology is constantly evolving. So it's I would almost love somebody to do more research on this, because there are, for those of you who don't know, there are basically websites, almost like dating apps, to be friends with, write with, fall in love with somebody who's in prison and incarcerated. And some will be getting out, some won't. So I have gone on these sites in regards to, I wanted to really see what they were and get a good idea. So for that hybristophilia episode I did a ton of research just because I wanted to get a perspective from every angle that I could. And it's kind of clear that when those studies were done, times have changed, technology's evolved. And point being, looking at these sites, it's very interesting. It's very interesting because some of them seem like and there's pictures, which obviously is a draw, but some of them, you would never know they were in prison based on their bio. But then other inmates, they're just straight up with it. I'm in jail for murder, but I enjoy this. I'm looking for this. And it's just, okay. So there's different sides to it. And these are clearly popular sites. So what is working now is, I would just love to do a research study, of where we are in technology right now, where this is all going, what is working, what isn't working, what's coming out of this, what can be learned. It's very interesting. I find it absolutely fascinating, but somewhat, no, full on. Ask Liz. I'm a wicked nerd with this type of stuff. God, you ask her. You can't take me anywhere. Because I will wrap true crime into some type, or something that I've read into, I will somehow work its way into the conversation. Can't take me anywhere. Let's see. I don't want to miss. Okay, Anastasia says, a curiosity at what creates or is made. I majored in psychology. Love it. So did I, Anastasia. Love it, love it, love it. I don't believe the abuse. Okay, about the Menendez brothers, about Jose. Okay. The Melendez. Frank Vargo, are you really Mr. Beckham in disguise? Because he's the only other one that says Melendez brothers. Let's see. The Menendez brothers are two pieces of trash. I wanted it all. If they're innocent, then Gypsy Rose Blanchard is a sex symbol. Interesting point. A teacher once told me psychology is the study of nuts, sluts, and perverts. What? That's wild. It's like Wade Wilson. Oh God, Wade Wilson. Right, Renee, thanks a lot. Right when he's out of my mind, you just bring that face right back to the forefront. Conning all those women, he sure did. They all thought they were his girlfriend, and they sent yes. I'm so glad, Tony. They all say they're innocent. I worked with teens, one of the most manipulative charmers. I laughed, but a psychiatrist told me he planted a bomb to blow up his. Well, then, yeah, manipulative and it's scary. It's scary. I have said this early on. Probably, I think I've said this pre-Danny After Dark show. People want monsters to look like monsters, and they don't. They look like Ted Bundy. They look like Chris Watts. They insert any other kind of quote unquote normal looking person. Yeah, you can't spot them. And that's scary. It's scary. Scott Peterson. Yeah, he was, oh my God, the amount of women that here's what he's convicted for, but I can change him. He wouldn't do that to me. Like, oh my, whatever people say in their mind. It's scary. I don't get it. You know what's Anastasia, you know what's interesting? So, a little Danny After Dark fun fact for y'all. So I am still friends with my one of my old psychology teachers from way back, over 20 something years ago. Yeah, it's just one of those, psychology was my thing. It's always been my thing. And this teacher was such a big mentor to me and really helped shape kind of how I went into the field. And yeah, there's always that one professor or something where you just kind of keep in touch with and, they're very helpful with advice. And I've had several over the years that I made it a point to kind of still keep, in connection with, because, especially when you have a good rapport with them, you never know when you would need a connection. And yeah, it's just, I've still maintained that. And it's just, yeah, it's kind of nice to kind of still have that type of relationship, friendship. And yeah, just kind of, so he's seen how I've grown over the last 20 years of education and stuff like that. It's very interesting. So yeah, Anastasia, to kind of see that you've majored in psychology too, that's just awesome. It's the best field. It's also a very low paying field, unfortunately, but it's just the best field, hands down. But I'm biased. So that is the update on Lyle. So he will soon be single, which brings me back to what I talked about. Now I really feel like we're going to see now this whole wave of because the Menendez brothers are relevant again, this whole wave of women. I mark my words. Now that he's going to be single. Hey, Ella. Lyle is seeing some chick from the UK. Is that in relation to the Ella? So I just mentioned that the statement that Rebecca, his wife, did made it a point to say that this is, in all caps, not from cheating. So I didn't deep dive into that because to me, when you say that statement, when someone says that statement, I'm like, yeah, it's probably cheating. But I don't know. But if you know more, if that is the reason, please let us know. Mary Brunner surprised me. Educated and intelligent, lonely, and Charles Manson manipulated her. Well, yeah, okay. look at what your show is doing, highlighting your experiences and knowledge. A little bit. But to go back on your point, though, because you make an excellent point. When I did the research for the hybristophilia episode, anesthesia, I'm telling you right now, if you want to deep dive that research, I really think you would like it and read through the studies. Again, they're long, like the reports are long, but like you seeing, like it talks about all of the different backgrounds that the participants in the study had. Again, it's a variety, but I think people have like a common maybe image of what they think somebody would be who does seek love from a criminal, whether they're, whether it's Charles Manson or someone who's behind or whatnot, whatever the case may be. That's not always the case. It's, there were one of them. I can picture the news article that I found when doing the research, because it showed the woman and the guy. She worked at the prison and like gave up her career for this guy. And I'm not talking about the Vicky White case, because that, my God, we could like totally, if you guys wanted me to talk about that case, I would love to with you guys. But yeah, there's such a diverse background of not just women, let's be fair, with men too. And it's all education levels, and it's just, nothing surprises me anymore. Nothing surprises me. Yes, because there are some recent pics with her, some blonde chick. So did she visit him in jail then? When you say because he's still behind bars. So would this woman from the UK have flown out to see? Like, I don't know. Okay, Ella, please give more info. Nature versus nurture fascinates me. Yeah, Renee, it used to fascinate me, but like, to me, it's just like the right combination of both. So to me, it's not just one or the other. To me, both have to be in place, and it has to be the right combination for the right person. And everybody's combination is different as to, once it clicks in the wrong way, then there's just no turning back. At least that's, in my opinion, what it is. Well, hi, Paul. Welcome. We are talking about Lyle Menendez getting the boot from his wife of 21 years. So, toddlers and tiaras after dark. Oh my God, little Loki, that's sad. She's 21 and from the UK. Yikes. Ella, mark my words. Mark my words. The fact that Lyle Menendez is going to be single again, 21, there's going to be women of all ages. Women of all ages. Yeah, for sure. Because he's famous. Not for the right reasons, but... And I'm still questioning that he's just could potentially be released soon, and now is the time to pull the plug on the marriage. Just saying. I'm just saying. Yeah, see? Okay, thank you for agreeing with that. We'll see. All right, last case of the night. And I purposely saved it for the end because I know I'm still fascinated with this case. I'm still fascinated with it. But some of you guys, I'm sure, are just like, oh my God, you talk about it every week. But there's stuff every week. So, Paul, I'm glad you're here, because update on Karen Read. So the trial is going forward, the retrial, I should say. So this week, there's been a few pieces of information. Judge Beverly Cannoni has approved a motion to allow New York City Attorney Robert Alessi to join Karen Read's legal defense team. As of now, the retrial is scheduled for January. However, as I mentioned in an earlier, probably a week or two ago, episode of Danny After Dark, True Crime and Chill, both the prosecution and the defense have requested more time in asking that the retrial start in April. So prosecutors want access to additional evidence, and they've requested this at a hearing Tuesday morning, this past Tuesday. So specifically, Special Prosecutor Hank Brennan. So he was brought in to help the prosecution. We talked about it when he was first joined the team. He is mostly known as being a defense attorney, but he does have experience in regards to prosecution, and he was actually Whitey Bulger's attorney. So he is requesting phone log documentation from Karen Reed's parents. He's arguing that he believes Karen called both her mother and father just a couple of hours after she allegedly hit John O'Keefe with her car. Brennan says, quote, the inference that a 40-something-year-old woman is calling her parents at 1:30 in the morning after this tumultuous event, the inference is strong that Miss Reed knew that she had done something terrible. She knew she had struck John O'Keefe, and she knew she had left him behind, end quote. So basically what they want is a month's worth of phone records from Karen Reed's parents to show that this one call is an outlier, and that she, other than that, never called her parents that late at night. Again, a month to me just seems like you're reaching, but that's just me. So Karen's attorneys, her defense attorneys, are saying the judge should not allow the release of the phone records. They state it unfairly infringes on the privacy of Karen's parents, and it basically amounts to a fishing expedition with the state hunting for more evidence. Quote, William Reed has never been called by the Commonwealth to testify as a witness in the case, end quote. That is attorney Elizabeth Little, who is on the defense. That's what she said on Tuesday. Judge Beverly Cannoni said that the upcoming retrial will be a new trial in the sense that, quote, that doesn't prohibit the Commonwealth from calling him, end quote. So the prosecution also has been requesting complete tapes and transcripts from several media interviews that Karen has done, both before and after her first trial. So Hank Brennan is insisting that Karen has told different stories at different times, and he wants to use that against her. Quote, there's a ton of conversation that has been redacted arbitrarily by parties that want to use what's in their best interest, but cover up what doesn't help them. The Commonwealth is entitled to it, end quote. So outside of the courthouse in Dedham, Karen Reed said, quote, isn't it amazing that ABC, NBC, Boston Magazine, and Fox all sat on alleged confessions and never publicized it? That's maleficence on all your parts if that were actually true. That's a fishing expedition. They don't exist, end quote. So that is the update on what happened this week in the Karen Reed trial. So man, both sides are being stacked now with attorneys, both the prosecution and the defense. Both sides are going full forward, like fully forward. Getting Karen Reed's parents' phone logs, like, and one of which attorney was basically saying, like, just use Karen Reed's phone log, but then it was like, oh, well, they're arguing like that might not be accurate. Okay, so then if the phone logs aren't accurate, you're going to go to like, you can't have it both ways. They can't. I hate when they do that. It just bugs me. But I do have to say, in regards to the transcripts and the tapes from media interviews, it's very interesting because journalists, they're allowed to have their sources not be named. They're allowed to not kind of release that information to the public. So if the courts are trying to get it where, like, the prosecution's pushing the courts to get it and have it be mandatory that gets handed over, it's going to be very interesting because a lot of these companies are not just Massachusetts-based companies. Some of them are out of New York. So how does that work now if you're trying to seek these, transcripts and tapes, but the company's based out of a different state where the laws are going to be different? It's very interesting how that's going to play out. I'm really wondering how they're going to be able to do that. But again, I have to say, even if, like, people are not a Karen Reed fan, her statement on the steps outside the courthouse just speaks volumes. I couldn't, if she said it to one of them, like, yeah, there's enough for a confession, but don't publish it. Like, they're not going to sit on that. Come on. And again, like Hank Brennan saying that there's inconsistencies that he wants to use against her. If you're saying there's inconsistent statements, then just use what's already out there. Like, I don't know. I just can't believe this is going to retrial. Like, I never, when they announced it, I'm like, no. Here's why they won't. But they are. It's going to be such a huge amount of taxpayer money to do this. And I think it's gonna end in a mistrial. It's gonna end in a mistrial. That's just my opinion, though. What are you guys saying? Karen, I've only watched one episode. What do you mass people think? Seems genuine. Icy Road. I have no clue. We're never going to know what happened, Anastasia. The police, the state police, the Mass State Police, all of them who basically touched this case, the Canton police, like everybody involved completely butchered this. It didn't handle it appropriately in regards to processing the scene and collecting the evidence. Everything was done wrong. So, and people who worked it have lost their jobs or been transferred out because of this. So, oh, I was wrong. Tony, you were right. That is Black Cat. That is Luke. Sorry. Selena was up there earlier. I didn't see them switch. So you're right. Black Cat. We're never going to know. We're never going to know what actually happened. But with that being said, guilty beyond a reasonable doubt, she's not. I don't know about it. Okay, dog saying, I don't know about mass, but in Indiana, parents can't be called to testify against their children unless they volunteer. Interesting. I'll be honest, I don't know the mass law on that. That's a good question, though. I don't know it offhand. I know there's the spouse. Like, spouses can invoke their right for their, like if a husband was on trial, he can invoke that he does not want his wife to testify, and that's legit, and vice versa. Or, partner, whatever. Yep, that's Luke. Renee, I worked on the show with Dean Kane, who played Scott. Really, Bertley? He told me he met. Dang, man. That's fascinating. Bert, you know everybody. Okay. Yeah, I didn't even see your comment. That's funny. Yep, I agree. Oh, grammar. No, grammar's out the window here. Don't worry about it. I butcher like 20 words at least minimum per episode. So like grammar, no, I'm not. No. You're turning 60 in January. Oh my God. When in January? That's a big one. Oh man, Tony. Lots of 60s here. Well, because Paulcast, his birthday's in January too. His is January 7th. Yep. That is one thing I'm good at, is remembering birthdays. I'm very good at remembering people's birthdays. Their names, maybe not so much, but their birthday, Okay, actually, everybody votes for different people here. So, okay, that's lovely. The 16th, gotcha. Well, that's exciting. I'll have make note of that. Who is Paulcast? You know what, Tony Stewart, you're going to get a star for that. Good question. He pops in every once in a while. Notice when he pops in, he says hi to everybody but me. It's like, okay, Paul, I invited you up here. You could at least come in and say hi, Danny. No, not at all. All right, everybody. So that's kind of all I have for tonight's true crime update. Wow, almost an hour and a half. I was not expecting that for a weekend, like Thanksgiving weekend here in the States. I kind of thought there'd be a lot less people here, but no, I'm really glad everybody that has been here has been in the chat. And for those of you who are watching and are not in the live chat, thank you for joining. What other announcements, any housekeeping things before I go? I don't think so. So back to dance next week. So whichever night I decide to do the episode, it will be a book review. But I'm like halfway through that. And screw you. You're so stupid. So that will be next week, probably either next Wednesday or Thursday. And then True Crime and Chill, I will not be available next Friday. I don't know about next weekend. To be honest. It's December and I'm sure this is like for all of you guys too. December is a crazy busy month. So I will do the best I can to do 2 shows a week, but I think some weeks it's not going to be possible. But we'll see. I enjoy this, so I want to make it work and like hang out with you guys and chat. And Lord knows if I go a few weeks and Beckham doesn't get his screen time, Lord, then I have to deal with that. And none of us want an unhappy Beckham. So there's that. Hey, Richard. Good to see you. All right, everybody, enjoy the rest of your evening. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. And everybody remember, until next time, we don't live in darkness. Darkness lives in us. Bye, everyone.